Well, the ban on gatherings of more than 10 people is hitting the funeral home business hard and the people who need their services. News 4 investigator Chris Negus explains how crowd limits are impacting people at their most vulnerable time.
Steve, no question this is creating a lot of difficult situations. As you know, funerals are often large gatherings that bring people together, often from out of state. But everything has changed. Now, one major provider out in St. Charles County, they tell me their priority remains on the families that are grieving at what seems like the worst possible time.
With this, we're barely able to have ceremonies.
Just like everyone else, the funeral industry is dealing with some major challenges. Funerals are emotional, but those attending are asked to avoid hugging, kissing, and shaking hands. Normally, full chapels and parlors are quiet. Big crowds aren't allowed.
They're not mad at us. They're mad at the situation.
Despite the limitations, Bowie still encourages immediate families to gather, but only in small groups.
They need to go through those stages of grief, and what we've been doing is encouraging them to still have at least some sort of ceremony of 10 people or less.
To help, Bowie is offering webcasting of funeral services and video tributes to share with friends and family. Those that still insist on a traditional wake are facing strict guidelines.
They'll have 10 people in, and then when those 10 people leave, we will clean, and then the other 10 are allowed to come.
Bowie must also protect its staff, and a grim reality. They might receive an individual that had coronavirus. Bowie Devaney says they are prepared.
Our care team is fully prepared for that with the proper PPEs and N95 masks, and they're used to dealing with bloodborne pathogen cases from HIV to tuberculosis. They know how to dress appropriately in those situations and handle the body appropriately. And once the body is embalmed, the coronavirus is no longer there.
Just a disturbing thought to think about.
It is.
And we keep talking about those protective masks that healthcare workers are worried about running out of. Well, the same is true in the funeral industry. Bowie Devaney tells me they are doing everything they can to protect their staff and the families they service. And he also adds graveside services are also restricted to 10 people or less. Reporting live in St. Louis County, Chris Negus, News 4.